Greetings. This is TimeRider. So after George and Paul and I did our public safety build last month, I think I started talking to George first. I just always had this thought that a cool project would be to have everybody build the same model just to see what everybody came up with. And out of those conversations and then conversations with Paul, we kind of came to a conclusion that this would be kind of a neat project. And I had these 336Es that I bought a while back. And so I sent one to Paul and I sent one to George. And this month we're all going to take a lash at the 36E. Matchbox, Formula 5000. Now, as I understand it, Formula 5000 was kind of a low-budget Formula style racing, single engine, single seater, single engine, of course single seaters, all around the world. I know in North America they were primarily 5-liter Chevy motors, but it was done all over the world, and there were other models that were involved. The Matchbox version of this actually came out in two different numbers, the 36E and then later as the 28G, which was gold and black. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing this month. Sit back and enjoy. See what I do. And watch below. I'll have links to George and Paul's channel so you can go watch them as well. So the casting was held together with one mushroomed over post and a clip on the backside of the casting that held the back of the toy together. It came apart pretty easy. Casting, axles, wheels. There was a little driver, and then there was a plastic engine on the top side. The post was big enough that I just drilled it out like I normally do. And then threw a drop of oil on there to tap out the hole. No surprises on this one. And as always, got to put it back together somehow, so nothing like a button screw. Now, and here's some news for everybody. Look at this bottle of stripper. I had just bought a new container of it. This is aircraft stripper. Kind of weird looking. They added some different chemical to it. I bought a new set of lids. And I can tell you absolutely that whatever it is they put into the aircraft stripper, it doesn't work as well now. I had a lot of paint left on there that I had to get off, and that's not typical. The one thing about doing this type of a toy, at least in my mind, there's not really a lot that you can do with it. I suppose if you were into that, apocalyptic this and that, you could probably figure out something to do with it, but that's just never been my style. So what it really comes down to is the paint and the casting itself. And that's just me. I'm sure there are others who would say something different. I don't think that this is modeled after any particular car, although I'm sure there'll be a lot of commenters who will say, no, it's this or it's that. But I didn't find any information. Of course, I'm trying to file off all the casting lines here and then sanding it all smooth. This thing had like a rust spot too on the main part, right kind of where I'm sanding right now, that didn't handle the paint very well. You can kind of see it a little bit right there. But I think when you have a casting like this, you really can't do too much of this. There you can see that rust spot really good in this picture. That was about the only fly in the ointment on this casting, was I had to deal with that. The primer didn't stick to it the same way. All kinds of issues. If you're going to do this kind of work, you need a set of files. I have like 8. And of course, I always, finish off with some steel wool and a good cleaning, getting the thing ready for some paint. Even though I was eventually going to paint this silver, I used some Tamiya white primer. Mostly just to fill in any imperfections in the casting, because I want this thing to be very smooth. And I'm going to be using Tamiya translucent paints, so I wanted a nice base coat of silver to lay that paint on. I'm actually going to be putting on several different layers, and I didn't shoot them all, but I started with blue, and I painted blue, and then I'm going to let that cure for a day or so. Then I'm going to lay on my next color, let that cure. So this paint job was about a 4-day process, and I was baking as well. So now I need to spend some time with my plastic pieces. I got my little yellow race car driver, and of course I have the engine, and they both just need to be cleaned with a little bit of soapy water before I start putting paint on them. The engine was chrome, and you can see that on the scoop, the chrome is just worn completely off, so this must have been a fun toy to play with, I guess. And this is flat black, and what I want to do is I want to paint the rocker covers flat black. And then I'm going to let that dry. I actually researched what racing suits looked like back in the day, and they weren't as elaborate as they are today. Most of them were white or some light color. I started by painting this white, and then I switched to a light blue racing suit with a white helmet later on. And then once the flat black was dry on the rocker covers, I took an X-Acto knife and lightly scraped the raised edges to try to bring a little bit of that chrome back, just to give the rocker covers some definition. And then the hood scoop, I just painted dark blue. And this actually matches the wheels. I don't have any footage of me painting the wheels, but then of course once the paint had cured, I laid on some clear coat, and I had made this cardboard blocker because I want to do something different with the back. So, and I'm painting it black, and I'm not really showing very much of this simply because once I started painting it and cardboard turned black and the back turned black, you couldn't see it anymore anyway. So I put the thing back together, and now it's time to go back and look at where we started with this. With its bent up axles and decals that have seen their better days, and it's a little bit chipped up. The wheels I got from another one of those Justice League Batmobiles, you'll see in the final product. And I guess without any further ado, let's take a look at where I wound up. So yes, this is another NASCAR homage to Jeff Gordon. I didn't have any DuPont stickers, or I sure would have put them on here. So I just decided to go sponsor-free on this. I'm very happy with the paint and how it turned out. I think those wheels, I know they have tread, so don't beat me up about it. Call them rain tires. Yeah, there you have it. The Matchbox, number 36E, custom. Be sure to check out what Paul and George did. This is TimeRider, and I'll leave the light on for you.